Hello everyone, this is Daniel, and today we are back again with another episode of mini podcast series by Daddy. I'm just kidding, this is not working because the ports are not compatible with the phone. I'm so sorry in advance if you could hear my fan at the back, because there's nothing much that I could do about it. I like to save up for a Bluetooth microphone soon, but... So, for today's episode might strike close to home because it's something that many of us wrestle about. You can see in the title, how and when do you actually choose your life partner? I really do have the same exact question, that is why I did this podcast. That is why before we even start, I would like to thank everyone who participated in this data gathering. I would like to thank my guy friends, my girlfriends, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, married couples, wives, husbands, random people on the street, and somehow my experiences myself, which is inadequate. That is why I needed other research proponents. So how are we even going to choose our life partners and when? So I've asked both of the generations then and now and older ones, and I've also reflected on my own experiences, even though ironically I have been single for the past 2 years, or single my entire life because my frontal lobe is not fully developed yet, so I don't know if you count those. We do include moments of heartbreak and questions I'd never thought that I'd face. And you know what I've realized? This is not a math problem that has like a formula to it or a recipe to it, but there is wisdom to it, and that is what we are going to be talking about right now. So we do have 5 parts in this podcast. Part uno, then versus now. Different times and different decisions. Mostly in the older generations, marriage happened when people were of age. It was more about starting a family than actually pursuing deep emotional or romantic love. So a couple of shared values and commitment were already enough for them. Or like, of age sila. So if ready na sila mag-marriage, go na. It was more of a life phase compared to an actual love story. But hindi man tanan, I would not generalize it, but most of the time, amo na siya ang kakatabo. Tapos kung example of age ka na, 25 ka na, mambal ka, may available na to, so muna siya ako ni partner, basi maubusan pa ko. Doon mo na siya ang term, dira. But, yeah. Tulo ko diri kaya ang notes ko ari sa laptop ko. But anyways, whereas in our generation, we want more than just timing. We want emotional depth, spiritual connection, personal growth, and timing to align. Love is essential, but also conditional. You could be perfect for each other on paper, nami kang mga match, but if love, language, or emotional support isn't there or hindi siya enough, it still falls apart. To juggle love, healing, ambition, readiness, often all at once. We're more cautious, more aware, but also more afraid of missing or forcing the one. I don't mean it in a way nga it's a good or a bad thing. It's just that information is there, okay? Part dos. Love as a need and not a feeling. Actually, I got this from like Ate Jo on TikTok. I don't know if you know Ate Jo. It's the woman who shares her thoughts on TikTok who has a boyfriend na lawyer. According to her, love is not a distraction dapat. It's actually a human need. Where love isn't something you set aside to reach your goals or your dreams, it's actually an emotional need. As per Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, ang triangle, as we all know, psychology majors out there, love and belongingness come right after security and safety. Hindi mo gani ma-schedule ang imo kagutom, your hunger, your breathing. Why do you try to schedule love? A healthy relationship doesn't distract you. Healthy. It grounds and motivates you. It gives emotional safety that often increases productivity and clarity in life. Mas ma-motivate ikaw. Gani hambal nila, inspiration, diba? 3. We have in regards of cultural expectations and popular theories. So, sa Filipino trends today, according to research nga recently ubra, many plan to marry by the age of 25 or later. Yes, in this economy, diri sa Philippines. Bala, I really wanted to be serious, pero ang pagkalango-lango ko aragid. Sorry. There's been a shift from settle down early to take your time to be sure and to be healed. Healed na sila sa 25, though feel ko talang-talang mo na gyapon. And now going to common theories about love, First of all, we have taxi cab theory, where a man chooses someone when his light is on, not necessarily with the best match, but because he is already ready. Because readiness often outweighs compatibility sa amo ni nga theory ha. But, and then, there is this red string theory nga you are meant to be together. You are aligned since then. Nga may higot ka mo nga biskan ano pa magtabo kung mag-cross pa na whatsoever, you are meant to find each other. It's a beautiful idea, but reality choices, maturity, and sometimes heartbreak is also necessary. You know, those are just takeaway. These theories are just theories and it helps us process, but life rarely follows any of them exactly. This is for my Christian brothers and sisters out there. So on a Christian perspective naman, how do we choose? Number 1, seek God's will first. Not just about romance, it's about discernment. Actually, discernment is a spiritual gift. Ask yourself, is this person growing in Christ? Is he or she active in his walk with the Lord? Do they help me walk in obedience or pull me away? Pero, whether a person is a Christian or not, God may still use the connection to reveal truth or even to bring them to Him. For example, trivia actually. So Christians should be good friends to non-believers or non-Christians because you might be used as an instrument to show them Christ. Sometimes, or like, God knows exactly what is in our heart. So, sometimes ginagrant man na. All you have to do is to actually pray for that person. But, do not put salvation in your own hands because it is not. It is only Christ's power to be able to save someone. So, number 2, know the family. You're not just marrying the person, you're also stepping into a new family system. Like, though you're being one, diba, together. So, you need to know ang backgrounds ng family niya. How is his or her relationship with her parents or his parents and his or her siblings. In psychology, this is like applied because, you know, nature and nurture. Number 3, the inner self matter most. Everything flows from the inner condition of the heart. This includes your emotional healing, spiritual maturity, and also your secure identity. You ask yourself, am I choosing out of wholeness or out of loneliness? It is said in Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart for everything flows from it. Number 4, age does matter. Why? Wisdom overrules. So not because it defines success, but because it helps you recognize life seasons. But, you know, some 21-year-olds are already wise and ready, whereas some 35-year-olds are still chasing clarity. Age doesn't always guarantee readiness, but often it gives room for it. For like example, like your lineage in life, kumbaga, there's like a path going it there. You know what I mean? Number 5, marriage is a covenant, not just pure connection. So in Mark 10:9, it is said that what God has joined together, let no one separate. Kung i-marry mo ng isang tao, kung gin-join na ka mo ni Lord together, hindi na ka mo na magbulag ever. But those nga ang gintingog ni Lord ha, sometimes may marriages nga hindi actually si Lord ang nagtingog. I don't know if that makes sense. So, example, kung ginaabuso ko na, hindi na naiya mo. I'm pro-divorce actually. Marriage is more than just chemistry. It's a God-ordained union meant to reflect His love and commitment, though you have the same purposes in life. Number 5, when do we choose our partners? But timing is subjective, and yet alignment is essential. No set timeline for this. Some marry young and it works beautifully. Some marry older na or later na, but still it does fail, or vice versa. What matters is not the age, but the alignment with your life's purpose and with God's leading. Hambal nila, nag-abot lang, and that's it. Usually, ma-realize mo na siya nga, nag-abot siya in a way that you need it in your life exactly right now at this point of your life. Sometimes love arrives unplanned, but it meets a need and a purpose in your life. You'll know not just by how you feel, but how clearly things align with what God is doing in your heart and your season in life. So what now? How and when are we going to choose our partner? There's no actually a checklist to this. or anything that guarantees forever, but God teaches us to prepare our hearts more than our timelines. Not love, to love wisely and not just romantically. Amo na ganing utok limbutang sa babaw, ang heart diri lang. Trust Him with the unknown, even though it hurts. I know, right? So whether you're in your waiting season or in your healing one or at the crossroad or somewhere down in the middle, remember, no love story compares to the one God writes. Trust the author. And also, I just remembered, you need to choose someone that chooses you entirely, you're 100% because everyone is a package. Need mo lang sa someone na maka-accept wholly sa imo. That's it. So thank you for listening for today's episode of Mini Podcast Series by Danny. So if this episode gave you some reflection or you have something to reflect on or may na-feel ka nga insight na nagsulod sa utok mo, feel free to share it with me. Or do you have any other ways on how and when to choose your partner? Let me know. Let everyone know in the comment section down below. Let's keep talking about love, faith, and the in-betweens of life. We are all learning here. I hope you learned a lot from this, my dear friends. Ako, daso na lang. Charot. Siyempre, muna ganing purpose nga nagubratan eh. Bye guys. Roar.